Introducing the Rocketbook Panda Planner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Planner Pandemonium live stream. We're once again remote, and as always, I am joined by Rocketbook co-founders. Joe, Jake, we're going live to the Planner Pandemonium.
I was just getting some steps in. I've got a daily goal to get 10,000 in every day. Jake, are you ready? Hey, let's just jump right into it, all right? Here at Rocketbook, we have spent eons trying to design a futuristic product that fosters happiness. But we couldn't quite just do this all on our own.
So we turned to the experts over at Panda Planner, which also happens to be a Boston area company. So they are creators of the top-rated planner that's helped hundreds of thousands of people take back control of their lives. And today we're joined by the founder of Panda Planner, Mike Leap.
Hey guys!
Hey,
Thanks
Mike.
for joining us.
Hey, Joe, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
So
coming.
I think it's a great fit because while you guys were looking for how to create the next best planner, I was looking for a way to make my planners more sustainable and reusable. A ton of Panda Planner customers were looking to how could they use their planner over and over and over again? And to find that technology, I found that Rocketbook had it, so it was a perfect fit.
It's great, man. Here it is, the culmination of months of work together, the Rocketbook Panda Planner. Woo!
Right.
And collectively, if you put all the work that we did beforehand, it's like years and years of work.
Decades, probably, if you add everyone's time together.
I don't even know how high of a number that is, but I can't count it.
So we're here today to celebrate the decades of work that have gone into launching the Rocketbook Panda Planner. It's available now to purchase on both Amazon.com and GetRocketbook.com. It's in 2 different sizes, and we're offering 4 colors. So just to get right into it today, we're going to dive into what the Rocketbook Panda Planner is. We're going to hear a lot more from Mike Leap, the Panda Planner founder, and as always, we're going to have some time to listen to your questions and get answers from all 3 of our great members here today.
This is great. This is like a new format for us, Mike. Normally it's just Joe and I blathering the whole time, but this time we get to ask you questions and you can do the blathering. So
That's what I'm here for. A little bit of Panda blather.
So tell us, just in general, what is the Rocketbook Panda Planner? Walk us through it.
So obviously it's a reusable planner with the wonderful Rocketbook technology that we have in here. It is the last planner that you might ever need to buy ever.
I see that it's got a calendar, a regular planner in it, but it's more than just a calendar, right? Can you go into it a little bit more for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a bunch of different sections in here. So you're going to start by going through your goals section. So the goals section is where you're going to say, what are the big things that you're trying to accomplish in your life? And then you're going to break them down into manageable steps so you can get after them. And it's a very scientific approach for how to set goals so that you can actually achieve them. And the key to that is going to be building momentum and celebrating your wins along the way. Then, of course, you've got your monthly section where it is that calendar. You've got your big view. You can track your daily habits and make sure that you're doing it every day. But you can also put in the big events of your month. Then you've got the weekly section where you can review the past week and then you can plan your upcoming week so it's the best week possible. And you're going to be breaking down what are the most important steps on your goals that you set so that you can accomplish them. And then the daily section is where most of the magic happens. That's your day-to-day. You're going to start with some morning routines to build that happiness habit. And then you're going to have your daily priorities to make sure you're getting the most important things done and not missing anything.
That daily section is key, huh?
Oh, it is. It's huge. And when you get in the habit of using it, you're going to watch your productivity and then also hopefully your outlook change pretty quickly.
I love it. I love it. And I love writing all these things down because I think just the act of writing it pen and paper just helps commit it to yourself, commit it to memory and things like that. So it's
yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people do request a digital version of Panda Planner. So I thought at first maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the reusable planner is if we make it digital. But honestly, I think there is some magic to writing it down. So I think that's why the partnership with Rocketbook was so important is because you get that tactile writing experience, but you also still have the ability to have it reusable and make it digital.
Yeah. We always say the utility of the cloud, the freedom of pen and paper.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm going to start saying that too.
I want to be really intentional about our time here on this live stream. So why don't we use one of these pages for it?
Cool. Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's go to our daily planning page here. I'm gonna have a go at this. So, as far as things that I'm grateful for, hey, why not start with my buddy Jake?
Oh, thanks, man.
The opportunity to be here with an audience today with you guys to be launching a great new product.
And I want to interrupt you there for a second, just kind of show people what we're going through. This is the morning routine section. So this is what you're going to be doing. As this is the daily page that we're looking at here. Every morning, you're going to go through things that you're grateful for, that you're excited about, a personal affirmation, set your daily focus, figure out what exercise you're going to do, and then we can go into priorities. So yeah, take it back away.
All right, I'll keep going. All right, so I'm excited about finally having an answer to that question we just keep getting asked by everybody is like, when is Rocketbook going to make an awesome planner? I think we've nailed it. Let's keep going. Let's set an affirmation that this is going to be a great live stream, maybe the best ever.
So far, so good.
How am I doing? Mike?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
All right. I'm just getting in the habit here, right?
Yes.
I'll set my focus on providing all the information that everybody needs here, everything that they're curious about. So providing information. And as far as priorities, I think just making sure front and center we're explaining the value and how people can use the combination of Rocketbook plus Panda Planner. And on that explanation and delivering information, let's build some excitement.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great start for the day.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as far as tasks, let's lay out some tasks that I think we've agreed on. Let's cover planning pages. Let's talk about goal pages, answer some questions from our audience. Hey, we've got a special guest here. Let's highlight a special guest instead of just Jake and Joe blathering on. Dig into some of the science and take some time to reflect on what we've learned today. And one little note to self, let's not forget the spacesuit and the sunglasses.
Oh, looks like it already helped out.
Important.
Checking things off, making momentum.
Magic of planners.
Hey Joe, just a tip for tomorrow, July 17th. You might want to fill in that exercise box too. I'm just saying. I know you're on the walking desk, but it is peak season. Just saying.
Thanks for the tips, man. I can use all the help I get as I set my new habit of using the Panda Planner.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's such a great system and it's a great format. And so Mike, this is mostly about squeezing out productivity, right? So for people like me who I like to say I like to get my Viking hat on every morning and just like charge my challenges every day and just squeeze every little bit of productivity on my my 12-hour day out of me, right?
Here he goes again. Help him out, Mike.
And slay the day, as you will, as a Viking. So I think it will help you do that. The productivity is obviously a huge part of what the Rocketbook Panda Planner is going to do for you, but it's not just all about productivity. I think that if you're getting a lot done, but you're miserable, what's the point? So I think it's really important that you spend as much time of your day, or at least have the same type of focus on building a happiness habit so that you're enjoying your day-to-day. So that happiness isn't this sought after goal later in your life. That's something that you can experience day to day, but still be getting things done. So yeah, it'll make you more productive, but we're also gonna teach you how to be happier too.
Interesting. All right. Well,
speaking of happiness here, so Jake loves anything that'll help him just crush his task list. He's just focused on productivity, right? But Michael, you allege here that you can get him to think bigger, and he can use the Panda Planner to help him combine that productivity mindset with a happiness mindset, leading to like a greater feeling of fulfillment and momentum in his life. Seems like a big bold claim here, but can you share like the basically a little bit more about the role that Panda Planner can play in his life, and really why you created the original Panda Planner?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that kind of those claims that I'm making, they do seem a little bit bold, but they've now been proven by myself. I was case study number one, but now that we've have hundreds of thousands of customers across the world, we've been getting success stories from all over the place. So it started as a need. So my backstory is, unfortunately, I got Lyme disease about 11 years ago at this point. And that led to about 6 months of being bedridden and just a whole host of different symptoms, including dizziness, unable to focus, anxiety, panic attacks. Shortly after that, I had a traumatic brain injury that led to inflammation in 2 areas of my brain. And that had similar symptoms, but the combination was just really overwhelming. I got to the point that my day-to-day was all I could do was just focus on how to mitigate my symptoms, and usually unsuccessfully. So it was so overwhelming, and just like the daily panic attacks got to the point that it led to depression. I was miserable. I eventually then got a diagnosis for stage 2 melanoma. And the combination of all this at once would just put me in a really dark place. So I knew I needed to do something to dig myself out of it, but I didn't really know what. So I turned to science. I started doing research, and it was slow at first because honestly, even trying to read like a page of a scientific journal was really, really difficult to get that type of focus and attention at first. But through enough time and doing enough research, I looked at what are some things that I can be doing on a daily basis to start to shift my mindset, because I'm in a really depressed place. I'm in a really negative space, and I'm only focusing on what's wrong in my life. I wanted to start to feel better. So the science from positive psychology, from neuroscience, and like new science of the brain started to direct me towards little action steps that I could be taking on a daily basis to start to shift my attitude from a negative one to a positive one, and start to feel like I had a little bit more control over my life. And so that's where the need came from, is it was for myself. I had no intention of selling this as a product. This wasn't to like build a company or anything. This was just for me to feel better on a daily basis. And I cobbled together something in Excel and printed it out and stapled it inside a notebook and started using every day, and started to feel better pretty quickly. I mean, it was like less than 2 weeks that I started to notice like pretty fundamental shifts in my mindset and my energy levels on a daily basis. So through that sort of testing period, I created this system and then continually refined it, launched it as a product back in 2015. And now with the feedback of hundreds of thousands of people, I've been able to refine the system. Plus with all the new research that's going on in the fields of positive psychology and neuroscience, I've been able to make different tweaks to different sections, including the new goals section, which is brand new as of about a year ago. And all of these things coming together have really formed what I feel like is a perfect system for building your happiness as well as being as productive as possible.
It's crazy. It's such a crazy story, and you know, it's you know, I've read about it, talked to you a little bit about it, and you know, I've told you before, it's inspirational, and it must be and it just sounds like, so the beginning part of it sounds like a pretty crappy experience, but it must be satisfying to you a little bit to know that through what this did is it caused you to create a tool that's been so helpful to hundreds of thousands of people to improve their own lives and to, you know, hit their own goals, and to, you know, dig themselves out of their own personal you know, holes that they've found themselves in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I do feel very fortunate to get to do what I do every day, and that I get to create these tools that help people. And I think that my story is like many other people's, but I'm very fortunate to have it in that the things that were hardest for me were also opportunities. So these situations were very overwhelming at times, and like, you know, put me in a really dark place. But within that struggle came this opportunity to do something more for myself and for countless other people now at this point. So I'm very grateful that I have that opportunity, that I get to create these tools, and that it is having the type of impact on people's lives as I hear about.
Yeah, it reminds me, it makes me think of, thanks for sharing your inspirational story. It reminds me, my mom was always fond of saying, if you find yourself walking through hell, you know, keep walking. Not only does it seem like you did that, but through your journey, you came back with something that got you out of a really dark situation. And you definitely, you know, seem to have control of your life and are making a change in the world, which is amazing. So thanks for sharing the tool with us that got you from that place to the amazing place you are today. And it just gets me so excited to wonder how I can apply it in my life, and how our millions of customers can apply it in their lives.
Absolutely.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. And I think that I'm really excited to bring this product to the Rocketbook community, because as I mentioned, like the technology is really cool, and just being able to reuse this and just buy one planner that is going to last you for years to come is like, that's not something that we've been able to offer before. So to take this system that's been refined over years and put it in reusable permanent fashion is really, really exciting.
Absolutely. Joe, speaking of that, let's see how your checklist is going.
All right, let's check it out.
There it is.
You know, I think we've made a lot of progress here, right? I think as far as our checklist, we've covered planning pages. We've introduced an amazing special guest. Thanks again, Michael. Goals pages. Let's check that off. I think we've started to explain the science a little bit. There might be a little bit left to that, so maybe don't check that off yet, especially as we get into the Q&A and we take time to reflect on everything today. So, hey, we're making progress on our tasks. Let's keep up this momentum, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Love it.
Thanks so much for sharing your story, Mike. That is really some awesome stuff. And I think you raised a great point of have the opportunity to use this kind of system, and just kind of demonstrating that excitement. We had a whole bunch of users submit questions to us before this live stream, including a few videos. So I wanted to patch in a video that we got submitted to us by Seamus, who has a little tech question about Rocketbook and Panda Planner functionality.
I love the reusability and sustainability of the Rocketbook. When I heard about the new Rocketbook Panda Planner, I was stoked. My question is, how is the current Rocketbook technology integrated into this new notebook, and what are the functions?
Wow. First of all, killer background, Seamus, and thank you.
Seamus coming straight from space.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, hey, you want me to take a stab at this? So the Rocketbook technology and platform is integrated with the Rocketbook Panda Planner, as you might expect. It totally uses the same 7-symbol system. So mark a symbol on the bottom of the page, and boom, it goes right to the destination you want. So I suggest you set one of your symbols, let's say the diamond symbol, to be the planner folder in Google Drive, if that's your system of choice. But the place where you want to keep all of your planner notes. So when you scan that in, they instantly go there without any additional steps, and you can feel confident about wiping it down and reusing it over and over and over again. So it can now be the last planner you ever need to buy.
And it's a great function because what it does is it takes your your analog Panda planner, and it puts it a digital copy, Google Drive or wherever whatever cloud system that you use, and so it's always accessible on any device anywhere you go. So you don't have to actually walk around with your giant Panda planner hanging out of your back pocket all day. Which
is great because I think we have a lot of Panda Planner customers who keep their planners after they use them, and they've got just like a shelf, like a library of their years past. And they do so they can look back like 3 years from now on that day and see what they were working on. They can see what their priorities, they can see what they were grateful for, what they were looking forward to. So to be able to do that digitally is really cool because you're no longer going to take up that shelf space. You now just have a folder on your cloud drive.
Awesome. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't remind all of the viewers right now that the Rocketbook Panda Planner is available on Amazon and on GetRocketbook.com in 2 sizes and 4 colors. Before we hop back into some more questions, I think along the similar vein is Caroline on Instagram, who she says that she hates planners because she has to buy a new one every year and wants to know how this planner will be different.
Well, this planner is different in a lot of ways. So it's endlessly reusable, first and foremost, so that you can actually use the same planner for years and years on end. It's the last planner that you'll ever need. I think also for me, it's great because you can buy it or you can gift it to someone really any time of year because it's not actually dated. So you don't have to wait until the holidays to give someone the 2021 planner or something like that. The Panda Planner has its blanks for weeks and months so that you can start using it anytime. So it's perfect for back to school or back to the office, for the holidays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, you name it. You can instantly get use out of the Panda Planner. Don't have to wait for a date to roll around or anything like that.
I think that's a really important point that you bring up, and that I think in our culture we're kind of conditioned to only want to start something new on New Year's or on our birthday. At these big events, but the beauty of an undated planner, especially one that's reusable, is you can start anytime, and you can just pick that back up and just get started whenever you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And then given what's going on in the world today, it's a great time to start some new habits and some happiness habits at that.
I think especially the happiness part is really important in today, in like this pandemic world that we're living in right now, in that making sure that you give yourself still a semblance of a routine, that even if you're working from home, like a lot of us are, giving yourself a daily routine that you put in your planner and then making sure that you're taking the time to focus on what you have to be grateful for, it puts your perspective in the right place.
Absolutely.
And I just love that it combines happiness and staying productive. In the time of a lot of stress, it can be really hard to just keep yourself staying productive, staying focused when you look on the news. But when you tie that into activities that help build your happiness and align it with productivity, it's just so much easier, more natural to go back to your productive self and feel good and feel fulfilled as you're filling out this is this vision of your future you and your current steps to get there.
And the path to get there, yeah.
I love it.
Word's getting around our office right now. I'm actually getting a ping from someone in the own company who heard that we're on the line with Mike and wants to ask a question. Can we catch Michael Graney in?
Oh.
Hey, everybody.
Graney?
I've got my Infinity Black letter size Panda Planner. Very excited.
Nice.
I know someone, so I got an advanced copy. But I guess my question is actually from Mike. So I am a pretty strict Google Calendar user in terms of blocking out my time, both for Rocketbook and for my personal life, from morning to night through weekends. But I'm excited to transition to the actual planner. So I guess my question for you, Mike, is do you have any advice for people transitioning from an app or from just a calendar, like a Google Calendar, to getting into the daily pages? Do we just go in and fill out every page from day one, or do you recommend maybe starting slow with the daily habits? Or what's your advice for a new Panda Planner user?
Sure, thanks for the question. And I think that it's going to be up to you for how you want to approach it, but I don't think that transition is the right word. I don't think you need to abandon Google Calendar. So I still use Google Calendar on a daily basis as well. It's where I have all my important meetings, but I have the habit that every night I go through and plan my following day. Some other people like to do that the very morning of their day, but I like to do it the night before. Well, I will pull up Google Calendar. It's the first thing I do, and I will copy over all my events for tomorrow into my calendar. It might seem like a little bit redundant to take the time to actually write down on paper something that you have digitally, but I find that it really puts me in a good mindset to know exactly what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll know when I have breaks in between meetings, and then I can plan my priorities so that I'll then to schedule within my calendar of my Panda planner, I will schedule in when I'm going to be working on my different priorities that I put in my planner as well. So I'd say in terms of where you want to start, the goal section is great if you want to have the big vision and figure out what you're working towards long term. If you want to start a little bit small and just get in the habit of using a daily planner, that maybe that's something you haven't done before, I'd say start with just the gratitude exercises and your daily priorities. Those are going to be your, as far as 80-20 rule, that's going to be the 20% that give you the 80% results, is you want to build that gratitude habit. And then you also want to make sure that you're focusing on just the most important tasks that day. And then start to build in more of the system. Try to complete the full morning routine. Try to end your day with an end of the day routine and plan your next day. If you can, set aside some time once a week. I do mine Sunday night where I plan the upcoming week. And then again, if you're incorporating the goals section, you want to be checking in on your goals and making sure that you're making progress on a week by week basis. But I think the key is just start small, start where you're at, and be compassionate with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself if you miss a day. Just try and pick it up the next day and make some progress.
Will do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great advice about being patient with yourself. It is hard to start a new habit.
Yeah, and in the Panda Planner community, we get the similar questions a lot, and I think people are often surprised for me to admit, like, there's some days that I just don't use it, or I don't do the morning routine section, and it seems almost like blasphemous, but it's just reality. I created this tool because I am personally someone who's terrible at discipline, so I need tools like this to give me any semblance of discipline in my life and to have some sort of regimented schedule. So I think being patient with myself was key, is because I'm going to do it as often as I can, and I'm going to try and get the benefits of it. But there are going to be days where I miss it, and that's totally fine. You just want to not beat yourself up and get started as soon as you can again.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And sometimes I find myself frustrated one way or the other anyway, because we're humans. We're not computers. And so when I try to keep everything digital, sometimes I get frustrated that I can't keep track of it in my head. And so I've always been an analog calendar person anyway, right? And so I think it's mixing the two worlds and going back and forth, and putting some focus on it, which is really one of the big benefits, like that actual transition of doing it. So.
Yeah, I think it's really effective. I really love the combination of using my Google Calendar with my Panda Planner.
Yeah.
Awesome. We actually have another video question that a user submitted. This one is from Stuart. If we can patch him in right now.
Hey, Rocketbook. This is Stuart. Just to let you know, I'm a business owner. I'm a huge fan of Rocketbook. I think I have every size, and part of the Kickstarter for the Orbit. And I am super excited about the Panda Journal Rocketbook collaboration, and I'm super excited about it. In fact, I have my executive size that I've kind of created a planner on my own, using some things from Panda, some things from other things, and it works pretty well, but I really would like one that looks really nice. Mine I'm not that great at drawing the lines with the Sharpie, but I would love to have that one. My question is, will the journal be like the Panda Classic? They have several different journals that they have that you can order from them. The Classic, I think, being the most popular, the one people have most often. And I'm wondering if the journal, the Rocketbook collaboration, is the Classic journal, or is it a whole new journal all of its own that we've never seen before? And so it's just this new awesome thing. So that's my question. Just wanted to see what's going on there. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you later.
Wow, thank you, Stuart. Before you answer that, Mike, I just want to say thank you, Stuart, for being a Rocketbook super fan. Really, really great to have people like you have our back with all these new product launches. So with that, Mike, why don't you answer his question.
Sure. And I think, yeah, that's awesome. And not only that, he also seems to be a Panda fan as well. He knows the classic, he knows our terminology, he knows our products. So I am also grateful to you, sir. So to answer your question, the Panda systems, we've got the classic and the Pro. The classic is the A5 size. It's a smaller sort of like handheld notebook. The Pro is a 8.5 by 11. It's a bigger notebook. Ultimately, they're the same system. That just depending on the page size, you're going to put, we're going to lay the pages out a little bit differently. And so what's beautiful about this new collaboration is that we've taken the same system, we've optimized it, like we're at the addition of the new goals section, but we've got a completely new layout. The look of it is going to be different than what you see in the Panda Classic or the Panda Planner Pro, and that we've done a complete redesign that's absolutely beautiful, and it takes the exact same system though. So the same system that we've refined and optimized over the years based on feedback from our community as well as from the latest science, we're using that in here. We've just given it a updated, refreshed look that, in my opinion, looks really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think worth noting is that you can see a preview of every page. It's going to be available in the Rocketbook Panda Planner right on our website, getrocketbook.com, on that Panda Planner product page. So head to that website if you want to see what you'll be working with and make your decision off that.
Cool.
These video questions are great. Are there more?
I think we're out of video submissions, but we do have an audio question.
Bad timing for the question.
We do have an audio question submitted by Gabby, if we want to patch that one in.
Sure, that's great.
Hi, this is Gabby from Seattle. You say that the Rocketbook Panda Planner is scientifically designed. Can you explain what that means and say what exactly that science is?
Sure. I mean, I think probably mostly talking about the Panda Planner system, but I'll remind you that Rocketbooks are from space and the future.
Which I believe answers your question, Gabby. Next question. Yes, I can handle this one. So scientifically design is the term that I use where the amount of research that I did, as I mentioned earlier, in looking into positive psychology and neuroscience. So just to clarify, the planner itself has not been scientifically validated. We haven't done a double-blind controlled study using our notebook in order to test the efficacy of it. However, all of the systems and all of the questions, the prompts, the exact design that we have in there are all based on interventions that have been proven effective. So we looked at the research on where they have applied rigorous scientific methods in order to prove the validity and efficacy of these things. For example, the three things that you're grateful for. There's a bunch of studies at this point that have done enough research that shows that leads to greater happiness in the moment, but also residual happiness over the term of 6 months and 1 year. So by doing that consistently, you're going to see those benefits. So we're looking at the science of what worked, and then we're designing our exercise in the planner based on the things that have been shown to work with some the scientific validity behind it. So we're not looking at things that are sort of anecdotal, that are nice. We're trying to take things that have been proven through very intense testing and then build our system around that.
That makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, science aside, I think I like a lot of the high performer type of attitude people in our customer base. I'm really good at being critical about things and finding where there are problems and trying to solve them. My brain is not really in that much of a habit naturally of just being grateful and appreciating what I have today. And so in the few weeks that I've started using this, just writing down and taking a few moments to think about what I'm grateful for is actually starting to train my brain to start looking for that during the day and during momentary interactions and during the moment, just to be more present and more grateful. I feel it myself. I know that's a data set N of 1, so not a lot of science there, but I feel it. Science.
But that's great, and I think the point that you just made about like that you're starting to notice that you're looking for it. There is some research that shows a lot of the benefit is just in that act of looking. So some people have said, like when they're in a time of struggle, they're like, I'm having a really hard time finding things that I'm grateful for. But it's just getting yourself in the habit of looking for things. And when you find that it's even small things, like, like having a cup of coffee or like water or like a roof over my head, the things that you would normally take for granted, some research has shown that just the act of looking for that is what is training your brain, is that you're starting to develop that habit of looking for positive as opposed to the traditional negative bias where you look for things that are wrong, which we're kind of naturally hardwired to do. The approach that I take now, because I've been doing this for so many years that, you don't want it to get stale, is that I do a big thing, a small thing, and an experience. So the big thing is something like, my parents' health. And then, a small thing might be like my coffee. or like how cute my dogs look right now, and like an experience to be something in my life that I went through that I really appreciated. And when the key thing when you're going through those is trying to like actually bring up those feelings of gratitude and like feel it in your body. I think that's where you're going to get a lot of the benefit is the somatic address, I believe is the technical term, where you're bringing up those feelings in your body and you feel those things. That's when you're really going to get the most bang for your buck with your gratitude.
I love that. Feeling it in your body. So you're training your mind and your nervous system. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome stuff. Just time for a couple more questions here. Kelsey on Facebook really wants to know, can I scan the Rocketbook Panda Planner pages with the Rocketbook app?
Yes, of course. It leverages the 7-symbol system. So when you scan it, boom, it's right in the right place at the right time without extra steps, taking that friction out of the equation, not having to use that, what we call the share button shuffle to press share and then figure out where to put it, keeping you instantly organized how you want it set up. I want to remind everyone who has a Rocketbook app, make sure you update to the latest app if it doesn't already do that automatically. We've got a few new functionality. So for example, you want to take advantage of when you scan in your monthly pages, those span across 2 pages. So July spans across 2 pages to give you plenty of room to write in your daily habits and your activities. So when you scan these 2 pages together, it combines them as one single view, one single image view of that month and keeps it tidy and together to help keep you organized. It's really slick.
Yep, and another reminder to check us out on Amazon.com and GetRocketbook.com to find the Panda Planner in all the 4 colors that it's currently available in and 2 different sizes. We also have another question from Nicole on Facebook who wants to know what the difference is between the Rocketbook Panda Planner and the Rocketbook Fusion.
Oh, that's a good question. I guess that's a sensible question. See if I have a fusion here. My desk is full of Panda planners and flips from our last live stream. I don't think I have a fusion here, but I would generally say that the Rocketbook Fusion is a note-taking notebook with a little bit of planning functionality at the beginning. The Rocketbook Panda Planner is certainly first and foremost a planner and a goal-setting system, as we've kind of gone through in detail, and a habit-generating platform. But I will note that at the back there are some free-form note-taking pages, so you can also use the Panda Planner for note-taking as well. So we have some Epstein.grid, as I like to say, which is great for text as well as diagramming in the back of the book. So sort of two different products. It depends on whether you're looking for something more geared towards note-taking versus something more geared towards planning, I would say.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Mike, can I live pitch you a product on the air here?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Do you think you can come up with a mini Rocketbook Panda Planner?
In like a pocket version?
Yes.
I do, and I've thought about what are the most important things, and I think that we could come up with one that like fits in your pocket, and then it has basically like a simplified system for what's the most important things you need to work on that day. It would definitely be like slimmed down as far as like the amount of time it would take you to fill out, but it would give you the core pieces that I think would still have a measurable impact.
And the most portable. Perfect. All right, good. Let us know what you think about that one in the comments.
Awesome. I think unfortunately that's about all the time we have for questions today. But before we wrap up, I wanted to bring attention to Joe's goals for the day and see how we ended up doing.
Well, hey, let's check them all off here. I think we covered the science. We explained it quite a bit. All the science that went behind the influence and a design of the Panda Planner. Answered a ton of questions. Really grateful for everybody who participated, and man, now I've got time to reflect. This is awesome. So I think we covered all our priorities. We definitely explained. We built excitement. I know I'm excited.
Joe, I just noticed. I just noticed you missed the big one here.
What's that?
It's July 16th. You should be wishing my brother and your fraternity brother, my brother Josh Epstein, a happy birthday.
Josh, happy birthday! Grateful to have you as a friend.
Happy birthday, Josh. I haven't met you.
Happy birthday, Josh.
I get you. You don't want to know what Josh is getting for his birthday?
That's a great gift.
Josh is getting his life redesigned. And
I do believe we mentioned Panda Planner Rocketbook makes a great gift.
I think it's an awesome gift that you can purchase on both Amazon and GetRocketbook.com. Awesome.
Great job, everybody. You guys
I think that's
are
about
awesome.
all the time we have.
Thank you so much for all the questions, all the different mixed media questions. Wow, what a bonanza. And thank you so much, Mike Lee, for joining us and working with us on the Rocketbook Panda Planner.
Yeah, it's so awesome to work with you guys on this and be able to deliver this product. I really think that it's going to have an awesome impact on people's lives. So my pleasure. This was fun.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.